Hey there, Parker Reed here, and welcome to PR Media, your home for everything movies and music through my eyes. And today we have a review of the brand new Amazon Prime original film, Coming to America. Coming to America is a 2021 American comedy film that serves as a sequel to the 1988 film Coming to America, starring Eddie Murphy. The film is directed by Craig Brewer from a screenplay by Kenya Barris, Barry M. Blomstein, and David Sheffield, and a story by Blomstein, Sheffield, and Justin Canoe based on characters created by Murphy. Needing a male heir to the throne, Prince Azim returns to Queens, New York to find his long-lost son and bring him back to Zamunda. Before I went into this movie, I've only seen Coming to America once. That was a couple months ago when it came out on 4K for the first time. I decided to watch it. I really enjoyed it. It's a fun 80s comedy with a lot of heart. So going into this movie, I wasn't expecting a lot because usually when you have reboots of 1980s properties like 30 plus years later, there's always a joke in the movie about how these movies are unneeded. So it's a very meta moment and you didn't need this movie to happen. I'm not sure why this movie needed to happen. So going into this, I had pretty low expectations and those expectations were met. If you've seen the original Coming to America, you've seen a better version of Coming to America. And before we get into the actual movie itself, that title it's so far off because there's only a couple scenes in actual America. The rest is set in the country of Zamunda. So they really should have just called this movie Coming to Zamunda. That would have made a lot more sense because the king's son is in America and he comes to Zamunda. So obviously that should have been the title. But I just didn't really enjoy this film. It felt like they were just trying to cash in on the Coming to America name because they sold this movie to Amazon Studios last year. So they were kind of cutting their losses as far as this movie goes. It feels like a retread. There's not a lot of great comedy in this movie. And all the comedy bits and things I found funny were just references and recycled jokes from the original Coming to America. There's not a lot of original material here. And usually when you have these kinds of movies, it's the older characters who are holding the new blood back from progressing the story. Here it was the exact reverse. All the new characters are just carbon copies of characters from Coming to America. And the old blood brings back some more energy, brings back some more laughs, brings back some more vibrancy. And they're the fun aspect of this movie. And although this was a retread and a basic plot for plot remake of Coming to America, there were some positive aspects of this movie. The cinematography and the costuming in Coming to America it's freaking fantastic. There's so much detail and so much imagination put into it. Some of the music is really enjoyable in this movie as well. The new John Legend version of the Coming to America theme is good. Salt and Pepper make an appearance in this movie. Gladys Knight pops into this movie for some reason. So as far as just having a fun sense of vibrancy throughout it and good music, Coming to America had all of that. And I think the funniest thing in Coming to America is all the different ways that Eddie Murphy tries to hide his now gut. Because back in the late 80s, he was a very thin, in-shape man, and he's let himself go a little bit since then. So they were finding really interesting costumes and interesting positions for him to hide that. That was probably the funniest joke in this movie. And if that's the bar we're setting, this movie did not strive for very much. And I really don't have much else to say about Coming to America because if you've seen Coming to America, you've seen a better version of this movie. And watching the movie, I knew it was bad. And I had a decent time by the end of it. Sure, the love story is forced in this one and not nearly as good as the one in the original film. Sure, this is just a more stale remake with less comedy. But it is pretty fun. And the fact that it's a COVID-19 pandemic and not a lot of movies are coming out, it was a decent watch and I don't regret seeing it, but I don't think I'd ultimately recommend it. So my final rating for Coming to America is a decent 5 out of 10. I wouldn't recommend you see it, and it was fun to reminisce on a far superior original film. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw here, you can check us out on Facebook or Instagram, and like, comment, and subscribe if you so choose. My name is Parker Reed. You've been watching PR Media. Keep supporting physical media, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.
I'm a king,
Put your hands together.
I like that.
Say it again.
give me all
It's a party over here.
I must admit, your style is foreign to my kingdom, but is impressive.
That's right. Ooh. There you go. Let me hear you say, hey, ho.
Hey ho!
No, don't do that. That's his mother.
Oh, don't you say that.
No, not to his mother.
I'm a king,